SmackDown Women's title match now announced for WrestleMania, which is obviously your good friend Charlotte versus Asuka. It's a match that is, prime. It could be a pay-per-view main event. I just wondered what you thought of it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great match. Asuka's an incredible competitor. Charlotte's amazing, and one of the most, if not the most decorated women in WWE history. I think just from both from a competitor standpoint and from a personal standpoint, you always want to be in that role. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring.
Okay, brilliant. Also, I wondered if there was anyone currently on the NXT roster that you'd like to see come up and face yourself.
I'd love to see the Iconic duo come up. I think they've been down there for a long time. I think they're both really great in the ring, and I think they're full of charisma. I think Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are probably the two of the people that I'd love to see come up here the most. And Nikki Cross. I think Nikki Cross is brilliant, and she's got such intensity. And I love the way she moves around the ring.
Again, the British scene is obviously booming at the moment. I just wondered what you thought of the current crop that were over here, and possibly if you've heard of or come across Session Martina from your native island, what you thought of her.
No, absolutely, yeah. I remember actually when I went back to training in Ireland after a hiatus away, she was in the class, and she's a lovely girl, and I think she's got so much personality. I think the crowd's really taken to her, and she's really passionate about it at this point, and I think that's always great.
So brilliant. And any thoughts on any of the rest of the scene as well?
I think it's booming. I think it's never been as popular really as it is right now, and that's not just the UK, it's Ireland too. I think Joe Cabray has done an amazing job at building up Irish wrestling again, because it went through a little bit of a lull. But now I think it's a thing that people want to go out and they want to see. And I think there's some amazing performers over that side of the world. There's something in the history of British wrestling. It's different. It's what I came up through, and I think it sets you apart as well.
Brilliant. And one last one, if I could. Other than obviously going after the SmackDown Women's title yourself, is there anything that you'd like to do in the near future?
Apart from main event WrestleMania? Just regain the SmackDown Women's Championship, and I'd love to see there being women's tag team titles, and of course I'd love to win the Money in the Bank briefcase if that comes up again.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, and good luck for Mania, obviously.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryan. Ash, we'll move over to you.
Thanks, Joe. Hi, Becky. How you doing?
Hey.
Good to talk to you as always. It's WrestleMania season. How excited for you? How big a deal in your life is WrestleMania? What does it mean to you?
I think the whole year revolves around WrestleMania. It's if it's not post WrestleMania, it's pre WrestleMania. That's how you measure everything. And especially once the first of the year comes around, it's WrestleMania season, and that's all you think about, and that's all you're working towards. And I always set down goals. And obviously, this year was when the Royal Rumble didn't get that, and then it was main event WrestleMania and win the women's title, and it's like, okay, well that's not going to happen now. But I think then you've got to go, okay, well what else is there? And now they've announced the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, so it'll be winning that. That will be the goal.
You've spoken in the past about having multiple women's feuds as something you'd like to see, which is now happening, especially on the Raw side. How big a step is that more in the women's revolution than some of the other things? Because for me, I think that's a big deal that they're finally getting other feuds outside the title. How do you feel about it?
I think that's when the revolution, or whatever we want to call it, becomes real, because it's just showing equality. because there's not just one men's storyline, and they're not just always in one giant tag match together. You know, there's always different storylines, and that's what I've always wanted to see women's wrestling get to, and that's what we're going to get to. And that's what we are getting to.
You mentioned the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. I mean, that's another step, I suppose. What do you make of that? And is that your goal now for WrestleMania?
To win that? Yes, absolutely. And I think then we can maybe. Oh yes, sorry, go on.
No, carry on, Becky.
Oh, I was just going to say then we'll probably get to see some women coming up from NXT as well, with that opportunity, and that's always great, and that's always exciting, and giving them an opportunity to perform on such a stage like WrestleMania is incredible. It's unforgettable.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. And then finally, what for you? I mean, what do you remember? What your favourite WrestleMania memories growing up? What always stands out for you this time of year?
So when I was growing up, I was never ever actually able to watch WrestleMania because it was pay-per-view and we were poor. I was never able to buy the pay-per-views or anything. So it wasn't until I got a little bit older in my teens and I went out and searched sought it out basically. That was when I was able to watch it, and I think there was something exciting about that, going back and finding the old tapes, and the old VHS as it would have been at that time, and taking the time and just sitting down and watching.
Just that. We look forward to seeing you at this year's WrestleMania. Thanks a lot, Becky.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ash. We'll move over to Andy.
Hi, Becky. Thanks for joining us so early. How are you?
Sam, grand. How are you?
Yeah, great, thanks. I read quite a shocking statistic today that said that you haven't actually won a pay-per-view match in a full year. Do you pay attention to stats like that?
That sounds about right. Well, I'm well aware of that myself. I don't need to read the statistics to know that I haven't won it. Yeah. You know, but you keep dusting the dirt off your shoulder and get back up and get in the ring and keep trying. Just keep trying.
On the positive side, though, you were one of the openers for the first ever Women's Rumble. How was that that kind of emotional side of things?
No, that was amazing, and I've said that I wanted that for the women for a long time, so it was brilliant to kind of feel like a little bit of like you kind of brought something into fruition. You know, you talked about it, you dreamed about it, you hoped for it, and then you were one of the women to stand in there at the very start and kick it off. I think that was a great moment.
Great. I heard you're a big rock fan, with Pearl Jam being one of your favourite bands. I'm just interested to know what's in your playlist at the moment.
To be honest with you, it's probably 99% Pearl Jam. I think they're just the best band of all time, and every time I listen to them, I always think it's impossible to have a favourite song, because just something speaks to you at a different moment, and they just have a song for every emotion that you can possibly feel, and every period, I think, in your life, there's always a different Pearl Jam song that resonates with me. But apart from that, I have Jethro Tull on there, Led Zeppelin, Rise Against, Rage Against the Machine. They would probably be some of the top people. And then, do you know who else I have on there as well? Is Bewitched. Do you remember Bewitched? That song, C'est La Vie?
Yeah, Double Denim and that.
Oh yeah, you can't be in a bad mood listening to that song.
And then finally, on the Irish theme, it's St. Paddy's Day this coming weekend. Do you get to celebrate it in the US as much as you'd like to?
So it is. I think I'll be wrestling in Midland, Odessa, so I'll just act like everybody's there for me. And it'll be my big St. Patrick's Day celebration. And I'll come out on a big float and I'll hand out candy. I hope nobody from Odessa, Texas is going to be reading this and disappointed when that doesn't happen.
Well, good luck for the weekend and good luck for WrestleMania as well.
Thanks a minute.
Thanks, Andy. Move over to Jefferson.
Hi, Becky. How are you?
I'm grand. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Not bad. Just before we start, I can get you a deal on the Sky Sports subscription if you still need that for the WWE stuff. Yeah. So moving on.
They're 10 years too late, so thanks a million.
I know. Sorry, yeah. If I'd known then.
Actually, probably about 20 years too late. What am I saying?
Yeah. With that in mind, what was your first WrestleMania that you saw, and what was your favourite memory from that?
Gosh, I can't even remember. That's a hard question. The first WrestleMania I saw. I don't know. Maybe it was Brett and Owen. Yeah, it must have been Brett and Owen. Mm-hmm.
We can change.
What a great match that was.
Yeah?
Pardon?
Would that be
that was WrestleMania 10, I believe.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that'll probably be my favourite WrestleMania match, yeah.
Okay, cool. So WrestleMania this year, it's such a huge event now. It lasts the whole weekend. You have the fan access, Hall of Fame, the TVs afterwards, and obviously the show itself. What is your favourite part of that WrestleMania weekend?
I think it's meeting all the fans. Because there's just people from every part of the world come over just for this event. And they're so excited. And they bring so much energy. And you can't help but have that build you up and excite you and make you want to do your best and really put on one hell of a show for them, because you know how special it is for them and what a spectacle it is. So I think that's probably my favourite part.
And I assume the access and the events and stuff, you get to meet lots of fans from Ireland. That must be a good buzz for you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then I always want to chat for ages, because it's just like meeting somebody from your local village. Cause, like when you're in some place the size of America, then you realize just how tiny Ireland is.
And you get to talk to them about the great Irish bands like Bewitched, of course.
Sorry? Oh, like great Irish bands like Bewitched, of course.
Yeah. With the after WrestleMania, there's obviously, I don't know if they'll do it this year, but there's often a superstar shake-up. If that is to happen, and assuming you stay with SmackDown, who would you like to see come over to Raw to join you?
On the female side or the male side?
It can be both. You think either?
I want to see Sheamus and Cesaro over here. I'd love to see Seth Rollins over here. I'd love to see Elias Sampson over here. Bayley. Who else? Mickie James, I want her to come back. I love wrestling her. And Sasha would be great. Then we could have a little 4 horsewoman thing. Who else? I feel like I'll offend people if I don't mention them, so I'll just stop now.
Let's just say everyone.
Yeah. Let's just get everyone on SmackDown.
So just lastly then, because you mentioned the 4 horsewomen there was sort of a confrontation between the WWE 4 horsewomen and Ronda Rousey's 4 horsewomen. Do you think that's something we may see in the future, or with everyone on different brands, is it kind of off the table now?
I mean, 2 of them aren't in the wrestling scene yet, so I don't know if it's possible. I think that what they've done for MMA is wonderful, but I think if they're gonna want to wrestle, they're gonna want to put a lot of work into it. So it wouldn't be until a little while down the line anyway. So I mean, there's always time to get the real 4 horsewomen on the same brand.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks a lot for your time and enjoy Bewitched.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jefferson. Move over to David at Vulturehound. David? All right, we'll move over to the Hindustan Times.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello. Yeah, hi. Hello, Becky.
Hello? Hello.
Hi, I'm Shane. Hi, I'm Shane from Hindustan Times. And
wonderful.
you're speaking of the 4 horsewomen. Hello.
Yep.
Is the network a bit flashy?
Yeah, speaking of the 4 horsewomen, go ahead.
Yeah. So you were talking about the 4 horsewomen. I just wanted to ask you, you have Ronda Rousey making her WrestleMania debut this year. I mean, if she wants to be a serious competitor in the WWE, how much work do you think she'd have to put in to make the transition from MMA to wrestling?
Not about as much work and effort as you put into making it in MMA and judo, you know? I mean, I don't think she's in any way shy of work ethic. Like, look everything she's accomplished. So I don't think that this is something that she's going to take lightly. I think she is going to put in the work. I think she's going to want to do great, and I think she's a big wrestling fan. So I think she'll fall in love with it, like she fell in love with MMA, and she'd be great.
Right. So one more thing. We mentioned the fact that, WrestleMania this year will feature a lot of women's matches, but all of them are big-name marquee matches. How much work do you think needs to still be done as far as, crafting subplots for the women or giving, undercard stories?
Could you repeat that question?
Yeah, can you repeat that? It broke up on me, too.
I'll just repeat it. So I said this year's WrestleMania matches have 4 major marquee matches at least for the women. But how important do you think it is to craft an interesting undercard for the women? Give them more subplots rather than just main event plots?
Well, yeah, sure. Becky, you could touch on the Battle Royal. He's talking about there's already been 2 locked in like championship performances, but below that, the other things that are planned for the women.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously you've got the intergender tag match then there with Stephanie and Ronda, and that'll be great. And I think people are going to look forward to seeing to watching that, because I think it will be entertaining. And then I'm not sure where exactly the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal is going to end up being on the card. It might be pre-show. It could be on the main show, but I think we just aim to make it the best battle royal that anybody's ever seen.
Right. And one more question. I mean, how interesting, considering, the current WWE storyline feature a lot of faction warfare with the Riot Squad on SmackDown and Absolution on Raw. How great would you think it would be if you got the women's tag team title?
What was the last part of that question?
Yeah, how great it would be for what?
Women's tag team title.
Oh, women's tag team. Okay.
Oh, women's tag team titles. Yeah, I've been pushing for that for a long time. I would love to see that, and I think it's about time. I think we've got a lot of women in NXT. I think we've got a lot of women on Raw. I think we got a lot of women on SmackDown. I think we have a lot of women in the Mayo Classic. I think there's plenty of talent out there. So I would love to see that happening in the near future.
And that's all I wanted to ask. Thank you so much.
Thanks. We'll move over to Sportskeeda.
Hi, Becky. This is Vijay from Sportskeeda. How are you doing?
I'm glad. How are you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. My first question is, how was it facing James Ellsworth in an intergender match?
It was brilliant. I wish we had done it when everybody wanted to see it at the peak of after Money in the Bank and everything. I think people were excited and hoping that they would see it then. I felt like it lost a little bit of momentum and ended up being over a Twitter feud. But it was great, and I think it was the first the first intergender match, I think, in about 10 years, singles, and so that was phenomenal to be a part of.
Right. My second question is, what do you think of Alexa Bliss and everything she's achieved on Raw because you had that La Luchadora storyline with her as well on SmackDown Live?
Sorry?
What have you thought of Alexa Bliss achieving what she's achieved on Raw after moving away from SmackDown?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she became, 2-time Raw Women's Champion. That's good. I haven't seen her wrestle in a long time. So I think that's an important part of being a champion. But I thought the women's elimination chamber match was brilliant.
Right. And finally, what do you think of the fabulous Moolah as a representative for the women's division in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's one of the most well-known women in WWE history, and she, you know, when I think people think of the famous women of the past, I think they think of Fabulous Moolah. So, yeah, so I think that's why the Battle Royal is being named after her.
Thank you. Best of luck for WrestleMania.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll move over to Fox Sports. David?
Hi, Becky. How's it going?
Hello, how's it going?
Pretty good. But I want to know, especially how's it going after you received the notification or the news about Fabulous Moolah. I mean, what was the first reaction in comparison to Royal Rumble?
What was my first reaction when I heard about the Royal Rumble?
The Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal.
Oh, when I heard about the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. I think we'd heard rumblings of it. So, I mean, I only found out yesterday that it was confirmed. But, I mean, I was excited. It's great that every woman's going to get to be on WrestleMania now because, you know, you work all year for that big moment. And sometimes when you feel like you're not going to be part of it, that's a little bit heartbreaking. So to find out that we were all going to be involved, that's great.
Do you want to see someone in particular? Do you have a special target you know mind me about Ruby Riott, or what do you expect from it?
I expect to win. I expect to toss however many girls are in that over the top rope, and and if I can toss the head off Carmella some more and a little bit off Natalya some more, that would be wonderful.
Do you prepare specially? I mean, you said the whole mindset is pre-Royal Rumble. I mean, pre-WrestleMania, you think about it a lot, but in actions, do you eat more? Do you rest more? Do you exercise more? Or how do you prepare, especially for the biggest event?
For me, yeah, it's more like you kind of tune everything out and become laser focused. Your diet becomes extra honed in. Your exercise regime becomes more intense, you know, and any outside activities you go, it's a matter of cutting them back. Is this helping me towards my goal? No, it's not. Okay, let's get rid of it. Yes, it is. Okay, let's keep it. And I think it's like that. And for me, I do a lot of journaling. So that will probably be amped up around WrestleMania time.
Okay, and you fought like 30 minutes from the past Royal Rumble. What do you take from that and as an experience and improve into this maybe the biggest match in the WrestleMania's history for a female?
Yeah, I take away that I wasn't even tired. So I could do another 30 more. I could do another hour more. I could do another 2 hours more. So there's nothing wrong with my endurance anyway. So I think you just always got to be aware of your surroundings and know who's coming behind you. I think that's what I take away from that.
Okay, that's it from me. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, David. We'll move over to caq.fr. I know you're at the airport, but...
Yeah, I'm in the airport.
Cool, go ahead.
Morning, Becky. Sylvain from France.
Good morning.
Hi. Before we talk about the future, I believe you wrestled in France in Toulouse for Fighting Spirit Federation with a friend of mine called Jerome Perut. Yeah. And you wrestled there with... Yes, and we're actually coming to WrestleMania together. You wrestled there with Fergal David as well. Yeah, we will. So, can you share some memories about your time wrestling in France, in Toulouse?
Yeah, so I remember that was like the first. I think that was the first foreign promotion that I'd been brought over to, and it was right before I was moving off to Canada to make a go of making wrestling my full-time living. And I think I got paid for the first time. I got paid 50 euro, and I thought I was so rich. I can't remember what I bought, but I think I went down and bought presents for people. I was like, oh, this isn't real money. I didn't work hard for this money. Like I was just having fun, you know what I mean? Because for me, like, wrestling is just so much fun. Like, I used to pay to do it and pay to train and everything like that. So when I was finally making money off it, it was like it didn't feel real, you know. And I remember Toulouse being just so beautiful as well.
Okay, great. He'll enjoy those answers, I believe. You're in a relationship with the UFC fighter, and Cyborg often teases fighting you on Twitter. Now, Ronda Rousey and Brock are in the WWE. You've practiced martial arts for years. Have you ever considered a career in MMA? And what's your take on the similarities of those two words?
So, for me, I mean, I've watched Luke weight cut, so I say to myself, heck no. And it's not just that, it's just that I think, like, I'm watching everything that he goes through and the dedication that it takes. You have to be really passionate about it, and I think it's the same about wrestling. If you're not that passionate about it, I don't know how you do it. You know what I mean? Because it's tough and it's long hours and it's a lot of training and it's being away from your home and traveling and if you don't love this, well then I feel like it would eat you up, and I think that MMA would be the same way. Like if you're not super passionate about it, being in a cage and getting hit in the face isn't going to sound very fun, you know. So I don't think that it's something that I would ever want to do, and even what it is that I love about WWE is the storytelling aspect of it more than anything, you know. And it's that storytelling through a fight, you know, and you can get that in MMA, you know, but also you can get knocked out in 15 seconds and not know where you are. So, I think for me, I think I'll just stick to what I know and what I love.
Fair enough. Sorry, guys. Last question. James Ellsworth has launched an intergender title in the Indies. You've showed him your strengths in the ring a few times. If Ellsworth and that title came back to the WWE, would you want to go for that belt or not?
Oh, absolutely. I would hold on to that belt for life.
I'm sure. That's it from me, Becky. Thank you very much. Merci. And see you with Jerome in New Orleans.
Awesome. Tell Jerome I said hi.
We'll do. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Have a safe flight. We're gonna move over to Catch News.
Hello, Becky. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So, Becky, you were the very first SmackDown Women's Champion just after you were drafted to the show. It was almost 2 years ago, and since that time, you were quite kept away from the title picture despite your popularity. So, how do you see your future in the WWE now?
I see more title reigns in my future. I think you always just have to stay optimistic. You know, I've always been called the underdog, but I always call myself Becky Balboa for that reason, because no matter how much I feel like I keep getting knocked down, you know, I know myself personally, I'm always going to come back fighting, and I know that nothing or no situation is ever going to keep me down and hold me down, and that I'll always find a way to overcome it, no matter what, and no matter who it is that wants to put me there, or whatever the view is of me, and I'll overcome it, and I know that I will.
Okay, so completely different question. Outside of the ring, you are also an actress, and you were in the casting of the Marine 5 last year. Is it just a hobby for you, or do you? Is it just a hobby for you, or do you prepare your future after your wrestling career? And do you have other projects in the movie industry for 2018?
Not at the moment, but it's something that I absolutely love, and it's something that I studied, and I got my degree in that, and for me, that's been one of my favorite parts about WWE, is the ability to perform and to connect with a crowd through storytelling, and I think that's an art, and I think it's an important art. And I think sometimes it doesn't get the credit that it deserves. But I think when you watch a movie, or you see a play, or even you go to WWE, it makes you feel something, whether it's good, bad, anger, you know, anything. And I'm sad. That wasn't intentional. I wasn't intentionally trying to rhyme there, but it works. I think it makes you feel, you know, more alive, more human, and less on. And I think that's important. That was a very dramatic answer to what you were asking, but yes.
That was perfect. So one last question. Your character has a very unique style and attire in the ring. This is a sort of mix between steampunk and some tribal inspiration. For example, last year at WrestleMania, you were dressed a bit like the video game character Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. Do you already have an idea for your attire at WrestleMania this year? And do you often choose what you want to wear during a WWE show?
I sure do, but my mind, I've got way too many ideas for how many people can make me gear. It's a problem. I'm always like thinking, that would be cool, or this would be cool. I come up with all these different ideas, but it's actually surprisingly hard to find people that can make you your wrestling gear or outfit or costume, as some people like to call it. But yes, I've got something in the works for WrestleMania.
Can you give us a quick look or not?
Well, I don't know. Can you see me?
No, I can see you, but an example, a description.
I think it's somewhat steampunk meets post-apocalyptic.
Wow.
Is the best way to put it.
Okay, so maybe we will see zombies at WrestleMania.
Absolutely, a zombie engine. I don't know.
All right, well, thank you so much, Becky, and good luck on your road to WrestleMania.
Thank you very much.
We'll move over to Miguel at Mundo Deportivo.
Hi, Becky. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Miguel?
Fine, thanks. I want to know your opinion about the problems that Sasha Banks and Bayley have.
Yeah. I think Sasha. Well, I mean, from what I've seen, and maybe I've missed some of it. I don't know that I've seen it all. Sasha keeps turning on Bayley Reid, doesn't she? Like Royal Rumble, she tossed her out and said, "That's why I'm the baddest, so that's why I'm the boss." And poor Bayley looked all upset. And then at Elimination Chamber, just straight up, like the scene from The Lion King, you know, with Mufasa and Scar. Bayley was climbing up the pod, and then she just kicked her off, left her to her doom. Yeah, I think Bailey ought to stick up for herself, and no. Yeah, maybe I've missed something recently in the storyline. I saw Bailey walk away from Sasha or something, but I think she had every right to.
Okay, and I want to ask you for your another friend. Do you think that Charlotte is going to end the Asuka's record at WrestleMania?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
Everything will come to an end. Undefeated streaks and all. Sure, look, at one stage, Charlotte had the biggest undefeated streak in pay-per-view. I think was it maybe it wasn't of all time, but certainly of females. She was 13-0 or something like that. And she was defeated. Everything can come to an end. They can come to an end in an instant. Look at Undertaker.
Okay, and my last question. If you could choose a tag team partner from indie wrestling, who would you choose?
If I could choose which? A tag team partner?
From indie wrestling.
Female.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's difficult.
Well, one of my
okay, and from NXT?
One of my people is Nicole Matthews, so I'm going to choose her.
Okay, and from NXT?
From NXT, can I have two? Can I have Billy Kay and Peyton Royce?
Yeah, sure. Okay. It's fantasy booking.
Okay, if I can have both them, I'll have both them.
Okay, Becky, thank you so much for your time, and see you at WrestleMania. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll move over to Miguel at Sport.
Hello, Becky. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Becky, there have been rumors of a possible draft after WrestleMania. So, what would you like to do? Continue being part of SmackDown Live or searching for new opportunities at Monday Night Raw?
Well, I am really good recently on SmackDown Live. Raw. Have a new challenge, have a new crop of women to face, and a new environment for a little while. I think maybe that would be the best outlook for me. I mean, I love SmackDown, I love the people on the brand, I love the crowd here, I love the vibe. But I guess if I think, you know, what I always want to do is go for championships, and if that's not in my future in SmackDown, well then I want it to be in my future somewhere else, you know?
Yes. Now, I need to tell you, I am a big fan of NXT since its beginning as a pro wrestling show. So one of my favorite matches ever from NXT was the Fatal 4-Way at NXT TakeOver Rival for the NXT Women's Championship. So that match had a huge impact in the business and also in the WWE Universe. And besides, all the 4 horsewomen were involved in it. How much this match mean to you?
I think really for me it was a bit of a game changer. You know, it was my first pay-per-view that I was on in NXT and I guess on WWE programming. And I think it proved to everybody that I could hang and that I was a player and that I was somebody to look out for. And then being in the ring with three such incredibly talented and passionate women all working together and trying to make a great moment and trying to make a name for women's wrestling in general. I think it was a great time in history, you know.
Will we ever see it again?
Oh, I certainly hope so.
I hope. Now the next question is, what is in your opinion the highlight of your career and what's next for Becky Lynch after WrestleMania?
I think it was winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. And after WrestleMania, I'm going back for my Women's Championship, whether it's on Raw or SmackDown.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Becky, and good luck in WrestleMania.
Thank you.
Thanks. Jeremy from France, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. No problem. Hi, Becky. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What does a typical day look like in Becky Lynch life? What is your morning routine?
Well, morning routine is probably to wake up. All the usual things, shower, brush your teeth, all that jazz, leave the hotel, go find somewhere to eat, just find a coffee, most importantly, go fill my veins full of coffee, and then work out, and then it'll be errands, it'll be whether there's certain things you've got to do, get your nails done that I love to do, that's being sarcastic, or picking up bits and pieces and getting food for the day, and then it's going to the show and getting prepared for the show. It's going out, it's performing, and then it's getting in the car and driving to the next town, checking in the hotel and going to bed, and eating a few times in between then.
Okay, so you are more like a coffee team, not a tea team, right? Because sometimes we can see you doing the tea time sign with Charlotte. Do you always have tea with her? What are you talking about during the tea time?
All right, now, okay. Yes, all right, I'm a big tea drinker, but it depends where it is, right? Like, if I'm back in Ireland, I will drink so much tea, it's ridiculous. When I'm over here for some reason, I'm mostly just a coffee drinker, although it depends on the time of the day, and then it depends on the weather. Because right now I'm living in California, and it's not, it's too hot to be drinking tea. I'll drink the coffee, because I need the caffeine, but, it gets too hot for the tea.
Yeah, I can imagine that. We have seen several female factions in the roster, like the Riot Squad, who are not your friends, I can tell. So if you had to lead a faction, what would it look like, and what would be the name of the faction?
I think it would look like Sasha, Bailey, and Charlotte, and we might be called the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah, that would be a great faction to follow for sure. One last question. Following the Up Down Down gaming channel, and your nickname is Service Senpai. Can you share the story of this nickname?
Right, because the way that people joke about ginger people, and they say that ginger people have no souls. That's the soulless part, right? So my hair is orange, so I'm ginger. And then the senpai part is because I'm a master. So it's the ginger master, the soulless ginger master.
Okay, thank you. And one last question, if you are okay.
It's a great nickname, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see that. I like this channel.
It's a great nickname. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Would you like to go to Monday Night Raw and see who has the best armbar between you and Ronda Rousey? I think it is.
Absolutely. I think you're right too. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Becky.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, is there anybody that I missed that didn't ask questions?